Welcome to the GameChangher podcast. You have Nat and my girl.
Nix.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day, y'all.
How you feeling this week?
I'm feeling fabulous, honey. It's been an amazing week.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear.
That's right.
It's been an amazing week.
I'm excited about tonight's topic, too.
Yes. Healing.
Healing. And your circle.
And your circle.
Yes.
Girl, let me tell you something. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this has been, this is a good one and a hard one for me.
What do you mean?
I mean,
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I've had some people that have been like, I think the hardest thing to heal from is, and some people may disagree. I think the hardest thing to heal from is when your friends hurt you and choose money over you. Because that's the hardest thing to heal from. Because it's kind of like, it puts a sense of like doubt, like what what were you here for?
Right.
Because if you can jump ship over money that quick, you know what I mean? Like that's been my hardest thing to heal from.
Yeah. Money shows you who you are.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, I don't know, like certain situations that people get themselves in will be revealed when finances come into the equation.
Yeah. Yeah. And the crazy part is, it's like money in business. It's not even money in like owing money, and it's not money. It's like you chose to cheat me. You know what I'm saying? Instead of working on, instead of valuing the friendship.
So do you mind sharing what the, no names.
No. Okay. So I had to choose. There, like, being a part of a certain opportunity, and the people that were closest to me, that we were working on this opportunity together. They decided to lie to me about a channel, lied to me about a direction to go in. And they went in the direction, but then stifled me from being able to go in that particular direction.
So let me just pause you for a second, because like I think all of us probably can think about a situation where you thought you had a certain level of relationship with individuals, friends, and or family, and they show you their ass.
All of it.
And it's like, how do you bounce back from that? Are you able to forgive from that? Like, and I guess it depends on the level of betrayal one feels after the situation happens, right? But everybody makes mistakes.
They do. And I feel like if a relationship, and if it's God led, you know what I mean? And if you have God in your heart, it's like, okay, let me just benefit of the doubt, right? Made a mistake. But then if they F over you again.
Okay. Right.
And it's
now
like,
you done did
damn.
It again.
It's like, what the?
Right.
Oh, okay. So that's just how
you are. How you roll.
Are. Yeah. How you roll. And so it's hurtful because you really want, like, when you really feel like you have a great relationship, because you go back years, you know what I mean? And it should be, and now this is funny. Me and my sister were talking about this morning. It should be, relationships should not be thrown away, especially like real friendships should not be able to be thrown away quickly, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
people
So
F up. So, you know,
so
and
it should be like a, hey, this hurt me.
talk
Let's
about
get
it.
through this together. Let's talk about it. Like, let's pray about it. Let's see how we can work and get through all of this
That's a
together.
healthy
That's a
relationship.
healthy
Right.
relationship. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't know what it's like to have a healthy relationship. And so it should be more of a, like, what can we do to make sure that this never happens again?
Right.
That's really what it should be. But it went into a, I I for I forgave with hesitation. You see what I'm saying? And that may have been my fault, but I still feel like I wholeheartedly forgave. Well, I wholeheartedly wanted to love that relationship, and still nurture that relationship. But then when I started seeing like little things come back around, I was like, oh, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. I
Right.
see.
Right.
Ah, okay. So no, you don't value. And then I go into a mindset of, dang, so all of this time you use me. Because if you truly love me,
Right. Right.
then
We
you
wouldn't.
wouldn't. You feel me? But I felt like I truly loved you because it didn't matter what you needed. It didn't matter what it was. Me and my family were there to support, or I was there to support, or I did whatever I could do. So I was like, oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. And so it's like, how do you move past that? Like, you have to come to the realization that this is not the type of individual or individuals that I want in my circle.
Yeah.
Right. So let me move forward.
Yeah.
And not allow it to taint any other relationships that you have. Because at some point you may, depending again on the depth of the betrayal, you may look at everybody's side eye like, I don't know if I could trust you. Because,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I put myself in these situations where I'm this to my people that I care about, and you don't necessarily get the same in return.
Yeah.
It does. I think it can have an impact on your ability to be able to trust others.
Yeah. Because then, now one thing that's great is like, I mean, well, it's two-sided. There's some friendships that I fostered through that friendship that are still strong, and there's some relationships, can't call them friendships, that I fostered through that friendship that it's kind of like, I don't know where you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I know what type of people they are. Now I'm looking at you like, I don't know
Right.
who you are.
Right.
So it's hard. It really is. I think one of the hardest things is to throw away, or is to let go of something that well, I feel like we truly had more highs than lows. You know what I mean? More good times than bad times. But then you do look at them bad times and you be like, damn, those are some left up bad times. Like, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
So do you.
Yeah. I mean, I've had similar situations in my past with, I wouldn't just, like, even family members. You can't necessarily choose your family, right? You can choose the friendships that you have, but your family, who your family is. But I think it's difficult sometimes to just, maneuver and not let those things that happened in the past, like, really taint or just limit how you can develop relationships with others in the future. And letting go of whatever pain that you experience because of that betrayal or because of the situation, like, I think that that's the key. And again, like, my mindset is that we're all here on this journey together. Everybody's journey is different, and who I was 20 years ago is not who I am today. 20 years ago, I would give someone ample opportunities, right? And today it's like, okay, I'm going to give you 2-3 chances, 3 at the most.
Right.
And then, you show me the same
Pattern.
type of pattern, then that's it. I understand, and I don't receive.
Yeah.
So therefore, I need to make the decision about whether I I'm going to continue having a relationship with you, or I'm just going to say, you know what, I need to exit stage left and
Right.
continue on my journey because this we're not aligned.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that. It's just like, but it's almost like don't get, what I want people to know is like, don't get prostituted in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? Don't be the one that says, I'm going to give all of this and get nothing in return. It's like whatever, that's what, like in our friendship, we give and we, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you got, I got, you don't, whatever. It's still a two-way relationship. And that's what people need to understand is if you have people around you and it's not a two-way, I remember I would hear somebody say loyalty. That is the most, like, don't say that shit to me. Oh, I do not want to hear. If I hear somebody on a, like, if I hear anybody on the Zoom call talk about loyalty, I probably, like, if it's like a business relationship, I may, like, get off. Because people use that word, but they want people to be loyal to them, but they won't be loyal back. So I've heard in different business opportunities and different business things, and it's like, yeah, loyalty. And I'm like, you want people to be loyal to you, but you won't give loyalty in return. So just don't use that word with me, okay?
I'm making a mental note of that.
That's a trigger word.
Clearly.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, my mom used to have the saying, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Yes.
So when you're younger, and stupid and you're just trying to fit in, your bar is pretty low.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you start to realize, like, who you are and what kind of integrity you have, what your values are. And you get to be a little bit more discerning of where you want to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you look around and you see the circle of friends that you have around you don't necessarily jive with, the things that you truly value, then there's an issue and that change needs to be made.
Change gonna come.
Yeah, change gonna come.
And can't be afraid to change. It's kind of like you can't ask God. You can't be like, God, give me the strength. Like, God, give me the strength to go to the gym. He's like, well, you woke up and you had
right.
You had your 2 feet hit that ground. Like I gave you the strength. Now you got to do it. So it's still the same thing with like, God, I want to have this network of people, and I want to, you know what I mean? Or this is what I want. I want a stress-free. I want strong relationships. It's kind of like, okay, so let go of that. Let go of what you know you need to let go of. Like, let that shit go.
But how do you, so that healing, because that healing can happen over a period of time. Like, it doesn't happen immediately.
Because just like a prayer, it's not going to, I think people think that it's like as soon as you say amen, it's like, it's like a light switch. No, it's a process. It's time. And it goes all on your choices and your chances and your movement and what you still, the decisions that you make and all of that, go into the process of healing. Now, am I an expert on healing? No. Am I a person that had to come through healing? Yes. And it took me time to unfriend on social media. It took me, so I didn't see it. And if I saw something, it could trigger and open a wound. I had to step back from certain relationship. Like, that was my part of my process of healing. And it took like several years for me to get through it to where I knew, okay, I don't hold that anger anymore. But if you would say that person's name, I would probably spew like, but still, I still didn't spew it enough because I still hold certain secrets. I still hold certain, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be tacky with it, but it was still kind of like, I'm like, I could say whatever I want to say. I'm not that person.
And that's how you've gotten to a point that you're healed. It's because you're not carrying like those resentments and I'm going to retaliate, like those feelings. You've moved on. You're over it. Yeah. Like there's no point now. Like you've moved on with your life. Yeah. And you have better relationships
I do.
now than you do. Right.
Yeah. It's like, but I mean, but you do. You have to kind of know, like, is this really healthy for me? And if it's not healthy for me, and if it doesn't align with my morals, it doesn't matter to me how much money I can make with it. If it doesn't feel right, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing has to be with relationships. If it doesn't feel right, even in a man,
Yeah, I was
if
gonna
it
say it's not just
doesn't,
friendships now.
it's
It's
not it.
like
Yeah.
it's any
If
relationships
something
really.
is eating at you and it doesn't feel right, then it's like, listen to it. Listen to God say, move. Because I feel like if you don't move, like when you're feeling those things of like, man, this is just not feeling right, then that's God saying, putting in your spirit, like, this is not where I want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you constantly ignore it, then that's where the pain
Yeah.
comes in. It's like, all right, daughter.
And then you'll keep like kind of going through this vicious cycle
Yep.
because you're not learning what you need to learn. You're not recognizing
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, and so those patterns will continue to repeat because like God is telling you and showing you, and those things are happening right there in your face, but you don't really want to acknowledge it or you don't want to accept it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let's dive in. Let's see what Pursuitopoly tells us in
Yes.
healing, how we can relate it to healing. You can roll first. Last time you had Balancing Ambitions. I had Influence Avenue.
Okay.
All right, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I feel like I just landed
Oh,
on
yeah.
the same thing we talked about last time. Ambition Express. I don't know if this is
Yes.
the right one for me because I don't have any issues or challenges with the ambition side of like the ambitious side of
Yeah.
my personality. So I'm trying to figure out like what that would mean. This would mean for me particularly. Ambition Express. So I think the last episode we talked about like where I had to take a step back from a project because I was a little too aggressive and too ambitious and, trying to like forge ahead with all these projects and realize later that, okay, you took on too much more than you can chew. And here we are landing on Ambition Express.
Yeah, so
again.
how are you feeling this week?
No, I feel great this week. I'm glad that I didn't allow my ego, because you can let your ego like kind of still keep you in a place where you shouldn't be, but because you made that commitment or you made that move, you don't want anybody else to look at you and like say, well, why did you do that, or make you feel like you made a mistake. But I acknowledge that it was it was too much too soon, and I made the appropriate steps to reposition myself.
Good.
So for me, Ambition Express, I guess, would be just continuing to really like leverage what I'm learning
Okay.
for my own personal journey,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that I'm consistent with what I've learned. Does that
Good.
make sense?
Absolutely.
It's like I'm on the train now. I realize like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
it's great to want to do all these things and be all, and you want to be superwoman, but that's not necessarily the right approach if you're really trying to get to your particular goal.
Right.
And so for me, my journey is making sure that I got the lesson
Mm-hmm.
and now don't repeat that going forward.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All righty. Let's see what we got here. 8. I'm the heel. Ooh.
Progress Parkway.
Oh, that lines up well with my healing. I have made progress.
Okay.
I'm so excited. No, in my healing it is a progress. And in anybody's healing there is progress.
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're making the steps towards healing. Some people may need to do counseling, and get some, and that's okay. In therapy, I, you know, our whole history is kind of like we don't need no therapy. But I heard a lady today when I was in BJ's this morning. The lady says she's on her phone and I'm up here like all up in her conversation. She was like, girl, she don't need to have no more children because children don't come out right these days. And it's like,
Wow.
right, because we need that. Like, people are different. People are different. And I feel like, when we grew up, like our older generations and senior generations were like, no, you don't need you don't need no therapy and can't nobody tell me, or I don't need
You just figure it out,
figure
work
it
it out.
out.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's okay. So some people should stop and take the time in healing process to get therapy. And I mean and now I'm saying it from a person that's I've never gone to therapy.
You've never gone to therapy?
I've never gone to therapy. I feel like I probably should go to therapy and sit on somebody's couch.
You
Do
know,
you sit
I
on couches
honestly,
in therapy? Is that how?
yeah.
Okay,
Sit
it's
on,
still
yeah,
like
you
that.
can lay or sit.
I'm gonna go lay on somebody's couch.
I honestly feel like it should be one of those things where you go to a therapy just to, like, you know how you bring your car and get it like a maintenance check or whatever,
Yeah.
get a tune-up. I feel like we all need to have
Really?
a therapist.
So you
in
gone to a therapist
I have
before?
in the past, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This
Eh,
was like in a previous relationship.
Okay. And they did more than like me as your friend, just give you a glass of wine and tell you to fuck it.
Sometimes it's good just to have like an objective ear that can hear your situation and your story, don't know nothing about you from a can of paint, and be objective in
Okay.
like being able to kind of maneuver through what you're going through. And it's helpful for people that may not have a net, may not have someone close in their circle that they feel like they can share certain things with.
Right.
So I definitely think there's benefits. And I also am a big proponent of people, again, having that, like even marriages, having
Yeah.
like a therapy session maybe once a month where you just do a check-in. Like,
Yeah.
let's make sure the car is working the way it needs to work.
Right.
Everything's in place versus waiting until shit hits the fan and now
Yeah.
you've got to figure out how to fix it.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into therapy.
Don't go if you don't feel like you need it. I'm just saying.
I just feel like I probably should go lay on somebody's couch. So, but let's roll. Let's get up out of here. But
Yeah.
what's your one for the journey?
My one for the journey is just understand who you are
Okay.
and recognize your limitations and what is going to serve you well. Just like I did in my recent just example of just pulling back and recognizing when you're taking on too much. Just know who you are and what's going to work well for you. I think
Gotcha.
sometimes we forget and we try to shake certain things off or not really delve, having moments where you can delve in and truly understand where you're at and what it's going to take for you to be a better version of yourself. So sometimes that reflection, that just having a quiet moment is necessary. But yeah, just recognize who you are and what it is that you want and make sure that you're working towards whatever your goals are.
I love it. So my one for the future would be for progress is one step forward is progress. So just taking one step at a time. And there's some people that are in heavier situations than others. And this is more or less for those that just feel like they're just that there's just no tomorrow. You know what I mean? That if you need help, get help. And just know that you're not alone,
Yeah.
in any situation.
Absolutely.
So one step forward is progress.
Absolutely.
It may not change overnight, but just making one step at a time, then you'll see yourself get out of the storm. Just
Yeah.
do your best not to stay in the middle of it. So,
Good. That's good, honey.
yes. Well, cheers.
Cheers to another week.
Yes.
We will see you guys next time. Don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe.
Yes. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube is Game Changer Podcast. TikTok is Game Changer Pod. And merch is at GameChangerPodcast.com. We love you, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.